I guess, yes, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Roxy. Hi, James. Here we are. We're live, and I just wanted still to do a little thing. Trying to anticipate, but there still is always a little bit that has to be added because it's so slow sometimes. What we do, let me check. Yeah, this is working. So here, quick, great. It's gonna be right like that too. It doesn't matter. Good. So, um, I'm a little late, or I mean, I'm not late, but we're going next week to have the sound bath. Um, yes, so it's a short month. So we're getting it at the end of the month, and it's a short one, so maybe it's gonna happening beginning March, but it's gonna happen. Live now. And so here we are. And we're going to have some questions answered um, with the channeling. And I just want quickly to do a little thing, check that I don't have too many windows open. I don't need this one. And I mean, I just need to hear that it's working. Yes, it's working. And I think that I can close this one, and then we're here, and I take this, and I can see the chat. I can see the chat. So very well. Here we are at the end, ready to get into it. So let me just see. And if you have any questions, you can write also in here in the chat. I will, well, 333. What do you mean, James? 333? um, okay. Right. Um, all right, let's get into it. Just taking some notes, and oh, all right. Oh, for you. Okay. 3:33 p.m. Okay. That's good. So, let me get out of the way. Hello everyone, here we are. This is Yuli Naga. Very nice to connect with you, very nice to be here and exchange with you all. So, as we're still in the early stages and we're still not very well acquainted, or we have exchanged a couple of times, but let me get into the Nagas, yeah, one more time, because right, it's good to be able to exchange with you and to discover each other as we share this earth, even though it's not really very clear to you what that means. It means that we share Gaia, we share earth. So the Naga, we are a species that is for you connected with some kind of mythology in your Asia region, especially religious mythology. We are connected with the creation of Earth. Vasuki, the king of the Naga, was used in the creating the sea of milk that the Deva and the demons and the gods wanted to have in order to drink it, to drink the cup, and that led to the creation of humanity, of the world, right? That's the story. And Vasuki was used in order to have the milk, right? To get that working. That's the mythology, and there is more. The Naga are represented in entrances of temples. They are perceived as protecting. They are also in the mythology of creation of Cambodia as the daughter of the king of the Naga met a prince and they fell in love, they want to wed, and the king of the Naga is not at the beginning happy with it, but in the end they accept, and as a gift to the new wed daughter and prince, he drinks the sea, and the land that appears is Cambodia. And there are many other mythologies around us, but you see that these mythologies are giving you a vision of the fact that we had exchanges, we had relationships in the past between humanity with humans and Naga. And from that, you have the mythology. And as we have for you humans a different appearance, that is then transpiring in the way that we are represented in your temples and paintings and etc., right? So that's for our exchanges with you that led to that. Uh, Now let's get into what is real and not mythological. That is that we are a species that exists in what you will call, you could relate to as Middle Earth, which is a parallel Earth. Parallel means that we have our version of Earth, of Gaia, of Earth. We have our own experience. That experience doesn't happen in the same level of reality as you. Humans, you have your own reality, your own expression of Gaia, because Gaia, as a creator being, like you are, like we are, Gaia is co-creating the experience that you have as Earthlings, and you are interpreting Earth in your way. In this plan of reality, Earth appears to you the way it appears to you. To us, it's different. It's a different relationship, in the sense that we do not perceive Earth in the same way as you perceive it. Because as reality, as your Earth is linked to your experience, well, we have our own. And how is it that we exist on the same, with the same relationship to a planet, but we are not sharing it in the physicality? Because you have your own physicality and we have our own expression of it, which is different from yours. Not better, not higher, not more interesting, different. Why different? Because we are not vibrating in the same way. We are not sharing the same experience. We are different species. And in your limitations, in your limited way of perceiving yourself and perceiving reality, you believe that your Earth, your expression of physicality is all there is. Well, that is not the case. Reality, the universe is expressed in let's say infinite way, and those infinite ways mean that everyone has a different experience, everyone has a different vibration. Different vibration means that sometimes you can perceive things and sometimes you can't, as humans. So you are perceiving what you are able to perceive, and you do not perceive what you're not able to perceive, mainly because it's not a match. Not being a match means that you do not vibrate in the same way. So different vibration generally lead to not being able to interact in the raw way, in the raw expression of it. Obviously, then there are interactions. We had interactions in your past, let's say, right? And still we have interactions, right? Therefore, you have a memory of us that has been translated into mythology, because that's what you do when you cannot see something. You put that something into mythology, into something that is not true, not real to you, because you can't see it. You don't believe in the unseen. The unseen world, the unseen is so huge, so vast, you have no idea. So Earth, Gaia, is much bigger than what you perceive, than what you have an idea it is. Your physicality is a way of interpretation. It's not all of it. It's what you allow yourself to perceive. That's why you have also limitations of space, limitation of resources, limitation of that. Those are your interpretation of your earth. And as you are interpreting it in luck, then yes, you have not enough space, not enough resources, but those are not enough food, not enough of anything, because you are very lackful. We are not. So our expression is different from yours because we have a understanding of ourselves that is enabling us to have a relationship with Gaia that is different. A relationship with ourselves that is different. A relationship with creation that is different. Different means what? We are aware of ourselves. We are aware of our environment. We are aware of our creation. And we are aware of being a collective. We perceive our collective experience, which is for you still in your future, or a moment that has yet to come. So that is the main difference. Doesn't mean that we are better, it means that we have a different experience. That's all that means. Right, so you can see us as your neighbors. That's a very simple and very easy way of expressing it. And we are not the only neighbors you have. You have the Fae. You have many other species that are related, connected with Gaia, existing in this reality, in their reality, but I mean, they are creator beings that have experiences of their sort of physicality, which may be different from yours, but different again means different, not better, not worse, not higher, not whatever. It's different, which is something that scares humanity. And that is one of the reasons why you don't have connections with these other species, because you are afraid. And they may be afraid of you for good reasons. The fairies have been scared away from you, and you have been scared away from them too. The Fae in the biggest as the biggest way of seeing the Fae too, right? And you have fears around beings like dragons, because they are so big, so scary, so different, so not manageable for you, that you cannot even conceive a reality with them, even though you had a reality with them. That's why you are aware of them. If they hadn't been present in your reality at some point, you wouldn't even have the concept of them, as you wouldn't have the concept of the Naga if we hadn't been coexisting, or co-exchanging at some point with you. That is how you function. You have these notions of many beings that you are refusing to see in any other way than fantasy, mythology. But these beings have been exchanging with you. They have been there, and that is why these beings are expressing your cultures, in your religions, etc., etc. So, and as we're talking about this, there is a questions here that can relate to that. Ask about opening portals and working with energies from other realms. So, which we can relate to as how do you do we exchange? How is it possible to exchange in relationship with Earth and your neighbors? Could you as humans come into our realm? Can we exchange? So exchange energy, exchange light, and etc. etc. Well, this is something that we're doing right now. This is a way to connect, and this way of connecting, so through channeling, is also an exchange of energy, right? So that is already one way to answer that question, which is channeling is a way for you humans to exchange energies with other realms. When you channel exchange with the angelics, you are exchanging energies. So channeling, for sure, is a very good way to have that exchange of energy. Now, your question goes further. And so you talk about portals. To begin with, there are portals that are already existing that can lead to exchanges within you and other realms. How do you create the portals? Well, first of all, those that are already existing, how do you find them? Well, generally, they find you, in the meaning that these portals are disseminated. They may be in the garden of someone, they may be in some special place, forests, even temples, in special places where special constructions have been made. And those constructions very often have been made there because of those portals. They can be in ancient, meaning you may have a church, you may have a cathedral, a temple, a shire, or anything else that have been built in that space, in that place, but something pre-existed. And that something that was pre-existing may have been there also for the same reason, because there is a portal, or they may have been built there in order to favor the appearance or the construction or the opening of a portal. So look for those places, and generally those places, generally the older the better. They're where more awareness in your past, right? What you consider as past. At some point, there were more awareness of these special places. And special in the meaning because the energy is present. There is a presence of the energy. Some people are able to perceive it, so it is easier then to have to perceive that energy, and with that perception of the energy, then they have built temples or right in the relationship with what in that moment was the religion or the belief system or whatever, so that they build something then, and this goes back way back, right? And then they may have been destroyed, but or let go because the belief system changed. So someone, a new religion comes through, let's say Christianity, And then the Christians do what? They appropriate what was already there, and so they build or replace that place. In that place, they put a church, the cathedral, um, etc., etc. So, but the energy is still there. The energy doesn't go away and is there. So you have the portal that can be felt fine there. So what you can do is you can um, check these places also in relationship with ancient time. That's where you will find the connection. Is if you take more recent constructions, you may not exactly have that if there isn't the ancient relationship. So, for instance, you may there is an example, a very good example, which is in Rome. In Rome, you can find a lot of these portals and or ancient, because a lot is going back to the Romans and even before the Romans. And as they had a different relationship, they were able to build these places in that way. But the Romans were not the first there. One was there before, and they had this relationship with the energy. So when the Romans were there, they maintained it because they were more open to uh, relate to the relationship with these energies. And then the Christians came through and they built their churches and cathedrals, etc., over those places. But in Rome is a very good place to find that. Why? Because Rome has been kept, right? Built, the Rome that you have now has been built on the ancient Rome. And you can go in other places in towns in Europe that have ancient history, and you will find this same idea, and you can find these portals, and you can find these energies and portals. How do you activate them? You activate them by, first of all, connecting with the energy. The energy obviously is not always the same energy, so the connection is not always the same connection. It's a bit different. And you have to feel inside of you, meaning channel, feel the energy, feel the vibration, feel what is offered in that place, in that moment. And by doing that, you will receive in you, you will have in you exactly what to do. Now, what to do is often that you can consecrate, you can offer, you can connect with portal, connect with what is present, and have your magical words, your magical connection, and to give the opening of the portal, which is then for you a relationship and a way to connect with what is there. And obviously, uh, that is up to you to find and to be able to do that. That is one thing, right? Ancient places. Another thing is that those ancient places may find themselves in nature, not with constructions. So you may need to go in a forest or into the garden or so on, because right, there are many portals that are connected with um, a, let's say, person or family or house. So they are next to those, or yeah, right, yes. And so the relationship is the same, is that you have to have connection, be listening, channel, feel the energy, exchange, and do your magic. Now, those portals are sometimes in connection with the fairies, with the fae, right? Or with Middle Earth, right? You're on Earth, we are neighbors, and we exchange. Very often they are placed so that in places and in connection with humans in order to be in the right place. And what do I mean with that? I mean that those portals will not be placed next to a war murder Republican idea of person that is that has an idea of invasion or of supremacy or whatever. That is the kind of people that they have to be protected from, right? That we're not exposing the portal to that. So we are protecting it in order to have a different kind of people that are connected with portal. And that's part of the reality of the fear that is ancestral, let's say, in the exchanges with humans. Humans have been very ready to violence, to attack, to try to overpower and all of that, right? And so the the trust of having certain kind of humans accessing a portal or accessing a certain energy is something that is not really what we would like, knowing that kind of character. So that is one thing to say, right? But absolutely look for that if you want. But can you create a portal? Of course, you can create your own portal. You can. A pyramid is a portal. You can have all the portals that you create with crystals. You can create them with symbols. And when you have those done, well, then obviously you exchange energies with other realms. And if that is one way to relate to those, well, yes, you only have to relate to the portal, create the portal, relate to the portal, and then connect with the portal. It's inside of you. That's where you have to go. You can create your own magic, meaning you can find in you the way you feel you can open the portal. And practice is in you, and then it's about you performing it and connecting with it, and then it's energy. The exchange happens as soon as you are able to connect with it, and that is anyway something that if you start doing it and you want to do it, then it's going to happen. Trust you, trust your abilities, trust that you can do it. portals are not that difficult as long as you trust you and you are able to relate to it. Then you work with those portals and you work with the energies that come from that portal. Obviously, do not expose them like that to whatever. It's you working with those portals, and again, it's a relationship inside of you, because the portal, the physicality of the portal is one thing, right? You use your crystals, you position there in a certain way. You can create a triangle, you can create a whatever other figure you want with them. You can use whatever crystals you want. But what you have to understand is that the main piece of it is you. You are the portal. In reality, you are. You are the creator, so it's you. When you understand that, then your relationship with the portal, with the energies, becomes much easier to you to figure it out and to exchange. And the energies are exchanged absolutely. And it's going to be different depending what you are using, obviously, as you co-create with crystals, or you co-create with symbols, as you co-create with if you go into nature, you can co-create with trees, you can co-create with animals, you can right, whatever is there is an experience and is something that you can do. What you will find out, if that is your liking, what you want, is that if that is your passion, if that is the will of the now, then let's say synchronicity happens. So you find yourself in a place, and there you have the means, the ways of connecting with the portal. There may be a portal there. Synchronicity, meaning, well, you're not there because it's luck or whatever. You are there, and there's a portal in that place, and you're there because you choose to be there in that place where there is a portal, right? If whether you are aware of it or now, it's up to you. It's up to the experience. You're choosing your experience. Meaning, let's say that you go and visit some place, and you enter a construction, a building that has a portal. Oh dear, right? Why did you choose that town? Why did you choose that building to visit? Why did you? Well, there is no why. It's just that that is your experience, but it's that is the experience that you choose to have. And so it's not about lack or an awareness, is that you choose it. And then if you are aware, you may feel that there is a portal, or you may have just a feeling that there's something there happening in that building. You don't need to be right. Don't go looking for stories that are not there. You're attracted there, you're attracting the place, you're attracting the building, or you're attracting the experience. You go there and you have the experience. If you are aware, because you are aware and you want to have the experience, you can realize, oh, I'm feeling something. There's a portal, there's something, there's a connection. Oh, let's explore. portals to exist, or you create them and explore. Now, the other thing here is will versus intention. What can we say about that? And well, that let's use this experience, this portal. Uh, whether you do it with intention or whether you do it because it's the will of the now, it happens without you intending. Uh, it's still the will of the now. It's still the experience. Now, you will have a different experience, a different relationship if you have the experience of a portal through the flow of creation or through the will of the now, obviously, because that's how the flow happens. If you are intending to go there with intention, so intending to do something with it because you are expressing your lack or you are pushing yourself to do it because, well, whatever reason humans do things for, the experience is different. So you will have a different outcome. What is the difference? The difference is that if you're intending, your energies are not flowing freely. If you are going through the will of the now, your energies are flowing freely. So that is the main difference. And so that what happens in the will of the now is that you have more choices, more connection, more of you present. If you are intending, you are shattering your light, so you are shattering your or restricting your energies so that your experience will be exactly like that, limitation. You're limiting it. The best experiences that you can have are the experiences that are led to the will of the now. Again, it's always the will of the now. It cannot be in any other way. However, intending, so it's the human, it's the fractal, it's when you use that side of you, the creating, willing, that is intention, that is what is limiting, because it's acted out of lack. And lack is still expression of creation, and it's still happening, right? It's still creation. So you have results out of lack. It's not that you have nothing. However, again, you are restricting your energy. So you are not letting it flow. So your results are being limited. That is the main thing that we can say about that. So when it comes to portals and connections changing, be connected with the now. Be in the will of the now. Meaning you do not have to, don't go into your head. Don't try to figure it out in your head, in your human side. You say you have the inspiration, I want to explore portals and the energies and the connection with our neighbors, with the fairies, with the naga, with anyone else that is there that wants to connect. Go with it. Don't think about it. Don't try to make it anything. Just go with it. You see? But if you are intending, is when you start saying, I want to explore the portals. So I'm going to take crystals, symbols, and then I'm going to use them. And let me see, what strategy do I need? Oh, let me think. But maybe if I wear red, it's better than if I wear blue. And maybe I will wear something red and something green, and then I'm going out in the garden and let me build. Oh, maybe if I build something, let me see. Oh, but actually, maybe I have to, right? You go into your head, you try to figure it out, how best to do it, how best to, what to bring into it, maybe this, maybe that, right? That human thing of making too much out of something that is very simple. The simple is what? The simple is I take this and I go with it. I don't think about what is bad, what is best, what to do. I don't think about that, because you know what? If I go with the flow of the moment, with the will of the moment, I will figure it out naturally. That is the will of the night. You go with it. You just go. And you trust you trust your ability, your you, right? You trust the creator that you are. What can go bad? What cannot happen? Everything is going to happen, because that is what you are, a creator being, the creator. You cannot miss it. You cannot make it wrong. It's going to happen. So trust you, trust your abilities. If you have that trust, trust you go with it and you create it. Why won't you create it? Now, obviously, remember, you still are a human being, meaning you are expressing yourself the best that you can in the moment, meaning that when you do these things the first time, it may be that you are not really aware of the portal, or you do not feel it really strongly, or you're not yet, there's still something. Doesn't matter, do it. And then you do it again, and then again, and your relationship with it, it's gonna change. You choose to use crystals. You put your crystals, and you do your exchange with the portal, with the energies and all of that. And you may be there, oh, I don't feel really, oh, and then you do it again with the same crystals, and maybe you add something, you are inspired to change a little bit, and then you feel better. You feel that, oh, it's looking, now I feel it. And then the next time you will feel it even more, right? Trust that you will find your way. You don't have to have it right straight away. But where you need to become more aware of you is in your intending, in right. And you start intending when you put your ego into the balance, when the ego is becoming dominant in your action. And how do you know that the ego is dominant in your action? Because you start thinking, you start wondering, you start evaluating, and you start thinking about outcomes, what you're going to do, if this happened, if that happened, what am I going to do? Or like, that's how you know that you are intending, is that your ego is predominant in your action. How do you know that you are acting as a creative being? Well, because you are not thinking, you are not pondering, you are not trying to make it something. You are simply in the flow. So you know what you want to do. I want to experience the portal and the energies with it. Good. I have that inspiration. They're good. I have crystals. Let me put the crystal in place. Great. The crystals are in place. Now, what do I do? Okay, I have an idea. I start chanting a certain phrase 3 times, 10 times, and I'm going to sit in the middle of it, and I'm going to put my hands up and start chanting. And then I take some crystals in my hands and I put them back, and I keep going like that. And I'm not thinking about, I'm just acting in the flow. I feel inspired now to stand up and to go around the crystals. Why do I do that? I have no idea. I'm just going to do it because I'm feeling that I can do that. Right? I feel it. I take action because I feel it. That is where you allow yourself to connect with the creator. And so you are inspired. You're inspired to do things, to put the crystals in a certain way, and then to take some kind of actions around that. Why? Because you feel it, because you are connecting with the creator. That's how you know that you are allowing it, that you are connecting with the creator that you are. And you see, that's when you have the inspiration. What to do? I know what to do. Obviously you know what to do. Why won't you know? You think it's the first time you do that? Certainly not. So go with that. And if you feel that you have the ego coming in with intention, don't worry, you're not doing it wrong. It's part still of the will, right? You're still willing, intending, but it's still part of the willing. So allow it, don't judge it. If you do that, you realize that you are doing it, and you start judging yourself for doing it. See, you enter into opposition. You even if you right, you get into that, allow it, because if you oppose it, then you're opposing yourself. So energies are not flowing freely. So allow whatever happens. And if you get to the moment where you feel, oh, the ego is here right now. I'm doing it with the ego. It's not wrong. You realize it. You stop energizing the ego. You stop allowing, right? You stop letting the ego coming in by stopping feeding the ego, and then you come back to the creator, right? So allow the moment, allow whatever happens, because it's part of your experience. It's also part of you learning about you, learning about what you're doing. Right, and this is for whatever you choose to do. It's very interesting for you to discover yourself in this way, in what is the difference between I am acting using the will of the creator, or am I? And obviously this is a very good exercise. Why? Because you have been mostly using in your intending, your intention. That's all you knew. Now you are aware that you can act from the standpoint of view of the creator. You can use the will of the now. You can be acting in that different way. And it's different. But different means that you are not yet acquainted with it, so you need to train yourself, to allow yourself to experience creation in that way. It's different from intending. And again, you haven't had a huge experience with that. So be patient with you. Allow yourself to have moment where you're still intending. And you will do that, because it's part of what you know best. But the more you spend time in the will of the now, with the creator, the more you will do it. The more you will able to allow your experience to be like that. So when you will experience with portals, whatever portal you choose to experience, whether it's a pre-existing one or whether you open a new one for yourself, whatever your experience will be, allow yourself to have your time to get better and better and better. And you'll see that when you start, 6 months or even 1 month or 2 or 3 or 6 months later, it's gonna be a completely different experience for you, because you will experience and you will learn the difference between intending and the will of the creator, the will of the now. You will see that, you will experience that, you will go in completely different ways. Oh, in that sense. Yeah, is there a meaning, or let's say a collective meaning in numbers and that kind of things? Okay, let's answer this in this way. A very good idea. That's very good. So feeling the collective and meaning of which numbers, but collective meaning of number or collective meaning of things. So, all right. As you know now, you are a collective. So the human collective. What does that mean? It means that you are an individuality that is part of a collective. To answer the meaning of numbers and the collective, let's make it larger. So astrology, the meaning of planets, the meaning of card readings, right? These kind of things. The connection within that and the collective and how you use this. So you are a collective, and as a collective, you have a individual experience as you are having that. Now, when you understand that beside the five law, everything else is a belief system. You are already in the very good in a very good place to understand what is the relationship with between the collective and all those things that you are using um, to give a meaning. So let's say you were born a certain day, and in that certain day you have a astrological sign, whether you are Libra, whether you are a Leo, or whether you are a Virgin, or whatever, right? Whatever of those, or if, but let's start with that. You are with that assigned a certain kind of personality or personality trait. A Leo will be a certain way. A Capricorn will be a certain way, and a Libra will be a certain way, right? You have that. One is passionate, one is full of keeping things very keen, right? Very proper. Another one is uh, cows, right? All those things, and you have that idea, but you very well know that that is applied to, that you can find many things that you are expressing in your personality that are linked to your sign. But then when you look into it, you can also find that there are things that they say that you ought to be, but actually you do not relate to 100% to that. But then, well, you know that there is not just a sign, you are also influenced by planets and by the positions of the stars, right, to the planet, right? All of that. Good. So what happens there is that the collective has a way to relate to this to these things. So it's the collective giving that input of saying, oh, Libra means this, Capricorn means this, Aquarius means this, right? But then you you have your own interpretation of it, right? You have your experience, meaning that you are not exactly 100% what you are supposed to be related to that, right? And that is with the stars, with the planet, with car tarots, car reading, and extra numbers, right? All of that. All of those things, there is a interpretation given by the collective that is good, but then you as an individual, you have your own experience. You can relate to the collective. Absolutely, you are connected, you are receiving those things, you are part of it, so it's there with you, but it's not all of it, because you can see the differences, and you can see that there is something interesting for you there, because you have the let's say the Western interpretation of it, and then you go in Asia and they have another interpretation of it, right? And they were created, right? The sign at birth, they were created by different cultures, unaware of each other for some time. And so now you can see that you have those that are coexisting, giving you that the one that was born in 1962 has a certain Chinese sign, and then in 63 they have another Chinese sign, and those etc., and each one of those have different characteristics that you can find in your personality. But then you have as a you can check and see, oh, but the Western's interpretation, and you can find, oh, yeah, right, that works too, right? So you see, that's how you have your relationship with what is the collective experience of having these these ideas. They are ideas, they are energies, ideas that are put there by the collective as something that you can use. Are they real? Of course they're not real, but they are, right? In the sense that it's part of what you are creating. It's part of your experience, and that is what makes them. It's what makes them real to you. But they do not exist as a constant, as a truth, as a as a law, because you, as an individual, as a personality, as a human, you will have your individual experience of it, which will be different from the collective interpretation, because you're going to give your own interpretation of it, which may be very close to the collective, but you will have your individual experience of it. Let's say that the interpretation of your sign will expect from you that you are a very introverted person. And then you find out, well, I'm not introverted, I'm extrovert. I'm very open and going around with everyone, not introverted at all. See, you have your own personal interpretation experience of it, even though they're saying that the energies of your birthday are a certain way, right? And then there is another piece into it, and that is that you have to see that there is in the collective experience, there is also time that is factored in, meaning that the signs and right, those things, those experiences are related to time. So then what you're doing, you are relating that experience to that, so that, right, the information that you have related to that is, oh, this is, I was born on July 25th 1985. Good. That means, oh, those are the energies on that day. So that means that, oh, all your life you're supposed to carry those energies with you. That's what you're using time. And that is that you're using information, energy, information that is coming to you through the collective experience, that days means this. And then there is, oh, what time were you born? Oh, at 9 o'clock. Oh, 9 o'clock, then that means even more. Oh, you have that also to factor in. And then what was the position of the planet on that day, at that time? Right? All of that. So you have the collective experience, and then you relate to that. But your personal experience of it is that you have your own interpretation, which is what? It's that you can completely ignore it. You can completely not relate to it as something important. You are not bound to it. And that's where we come to the meaning of the numbers and all and any of that actually is that you can give it your own interpretation. You are free to do that to a certain extent, right? Because the collective interpretation of 1111 is a certain interpretation. Oh, it means that great things gonna happen to you. That's, let's say, the collective interpretation. Good. And then you say bullshit. It means nothing. There you go. It means nothing. You're not bound with that interpretation at all. So that you can allow yourself to have your own experience. With all of this, it's easier with numbers than with what is your zodiacal signs, because there is much more, let's say, knowledge around that than there is on the meaning of certain other things. But it doesn't matter. You have your own experience, your own interpretation. And that is what matters to you, because there are no rules. And the collective is experiencing with you. So your own interpretation then is offered to the collective. If the collective was there to say, okay, our interpretation of 1111 is great things are going to happen to you. This is the interpretation. There is no other interpretation. So anyone that sees 1111, great things are going to happen to you. Then where is the experience? Where is the opportunity of evolution, of learning, of having new experiences? Well, there isn't, because it has been established that the meaning of things is the meaning given by the collective. So there is no change possible. There is no evolution possible. End of story. So in such a configuration, where is the meaning of the human experience? There is no need of a human experience, because everything is already decided. It's already done. So you won't even exist as an experience the way you are if everything was already pre-established. You see, this is one of the things that your ideas of predestination, of faith, and those things. You say, oh, this is my thing, this is my destination, this is pre-established. I have a goal or something to express, right? That doesn't make sense, because if that were the case, why would you exist? Where is the experience? Well, right, you exist as an experience. You are experiencing humanity. You are experiencing human being. You are going through those experiences as an offer to yourself, as an offer to the collective. You are offering all of that. If you see, so that is why when it comes to anything, there is no pre-established notions of truth or whatsoever. You have your own experience. That's the freedom. You are free to have your own experience. So 1111, what does it mean? Whatever it means to you. That's the meaning. There is no pre-established. There is nothing written in stones where you can say, oh, this is means this. Now, following the example that we were giving, as the idea of the collective may be 1111 equal, great things are going to happen to you. Many humans will have that interpretation offered to themselves, and that they're offering to themselves. Yes, because there is that connection with the collective that is giving that. Then you have a different experience, and you say for you 1111 is a experience of the moment, of the pointing your attention, right, is be attentive to the moment, right? That's what you perceive. That's what you give yourself as an idea with when you see 1111. Then that is your experience, and as that is your experience, you're offering that experience to the collective, and so it enters into the collective, and the collective is going to say, what? Oh, that's interesting. And other, let's say, individualities, member of the collective, are going to look into your experience, and like they're gonna say, oh, that's interesting, I like that. I think that that's the way I will interpret it as well. I take that interpretation, and so they're going to express that too, because they relate to it. That's how you change the view of the collective. It's by offering it. So you are offering your light in other words, and then your other people will be attracted. Your other member of the collective will be attracted to your light. That's how you do it. And you see how evolution happens through that. If you didn't have that freedom, that liberty, your collective will be a stone, not moving, not evolving, not giving you anything like that. So the experience will be completely different, something else. There are experiences of no evolution in creation, and they have their own function, but it's not the function of humanity. Humanity is a evolutionary species. So the collective has that freedom of evolutionary species. So you don't have truth, you don't have anything that is defined as a finality. So all of these meanings that you can find in a relationship with the collective, they are an offering of an experience, a relationship, and an attraction of an experience that you have that can come from the collective. But then you still have the freedom of your own experience. Good. Very well. So we see that come to an end. We thank you for the experience. It's a joy to explore humanity, to connect with humanity. And goodbye, and we will be seeing you in the next now. Good. Oh, dear me. All right. So, that was interesting. um, good. So, thank you for listening to have this experience. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Here we are. Um, yeah. Yeah. So let's have this right. Keep experiencing. It's. I think it's a very interesting exploration that you have there, James, with the portals, and do it, do explore it, and see to explore it uh, by expressing as much as you can, yeah, the creator. So don't um, intend it. I mean, don't go into your human side. Experience it in the flow, in the wheel. It's very interesting. Well, even just, even just the energy in talking, in channeling it, the energy when talking about the will of the now versus the energy of the intending, the intention, the human experience of the fractal, right? Even just, it's so different as I feel it. So it's very interesting. Uh, and they say, go for it. Do your own experience, and trust it. Trust your experience. Trust yourself um, in your exploration. Right. So here we are. Thank you for your presence for the moment. Always a pleasure. And I will be seeing you very soon again, or in the next now. Bye bye. Bye bye.